Okay, so I just want to walk you through a couple of things. Sure, you return it. This is the end of my stash. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So back when we used to use pixel arts teacher maids, things were free, and so obviously that has changed, and they wouldn't allow your submissions in the teacher maids. So I'm sorry about that. That was totally my fault. Also, if you didn't do both of the boom decks because you couldn't find them, that was probably my fault too. But do go back and check those out. All of this is to give you a good foundation on what is to come this week. So hopefully you've got your packet. Hopefully you've taken notes. I even included the pictures of the notes in case for whatever reason something was lagging as far as internet goes. I just didn't want you to have any excuses. So hopefully you'll be able to turn that in today or sometime. I will be giving it back to you to use on the quiz, which looks like will be a week from today. So we're just going to be kind of flying through this little packet here. It's a lot like equations, but we are going to kind of be cruising. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, you should have done the pixel art and taken some notes. I know the one-step inequalities teacher made didn't work. And then Friday should have been another pixel art. So hopefully you were able to think through those, and hopefully you got some additional Alex done, because like I said, you really only needed one for Monday, but because we didn't do it on Tuesday, we took a quiz. I just gave you everyone a point regardless, and so some of you have 50% instead of 0%. Others of you have lots of extra credit who actually have been working in Alex as you should be. So be sure you're getting caught up, staying caught up. Today we are starting this new packet. So be sure your name's at the top. Today is May Day, 5/1. This is when we're starting it. We'll be finishing it pretty much at the end of the week. So here we go. Inequality symbols. Less than. I think of it as kind of a crooked L for less than. Less than or equal to. Same thing, except I have half an equal sign below it. After that, greater than goes the opposite direction. And greater than or equal to gets half an equal sign. All right, when graphing, you need to use an open circle for less than or greater than symbols. We are going to use a closed circle for less than or equal to or greater than or equal to symbols. So hopefully you got a chance to practice a little bit of this. So if we're graphing each of these inequalities, b is greater than 3. So first of all, where is 3? Well, I can pick it anywhere. So maybe I'm going to pretend this is 2, this is 3, that makes this 4, right? So I need an open circle. Everything greater than 3 is to the right. right? 4 is greater than 3. If m is less than or equal to -6, well, I need to pick a spot to be -6. So -6, which makes this -5, which makes the other side -7. So this is a closed circle because we have that half an equal sign below it. Less than means we're going left, less than. Here we have another closed circle at -1. So maybe this is -1, which makes this 0, and 1 makes this -2. So if I have that half an equal sign, I have a closed circle at that point. Greater than means I'm going to the right. This is everything bigger than this. The only reason I'm kind of raising it above my number line is so that you can see it. Does that make sense? I just want to be sure that you're seeing which direction the arrow should be going. All right. When they switch them around, you have to think of it a little bit differently. So I could rewrite this. I always want my mouth to be eating the same thing, so I can flip it the other way if it helps me. Right? Do you see how I flipped these two, but I also flipped the sign so that this was open to the R both ways. So I'm at -15. I need a -15, which makes less than at -16, more than at -14. And this is a closed circle because I have that half of an equal sign, right? Greater than is going to the right on our number line. That direction is where everything is more than -15. Same thing here. When I flip it around, I want it to be open at the 10 because it's open at the 10 here. So I'm going to put 10 on my number line somewhere. Less than it is 9, more than it is 11. Since I don't have that half an equal sign, this circle has to be open because it's not equal to 10. It's only less than 10. Less than means I'm going which direction? Left, less than left. And that's how we would graph these inequalities. One more, it's already set up nicely for us. It's going to look a lot like this one, except it's at 8. So 8, 9, 10, 7 is before that. It's open because it's not also equal to, and it's also left, less than left. All right, translating. A number is less than 14. So I would put on some numbers here around 14, less than. Open or closed? Open. Open. To the left or the right? Left. Left. Less than left. A number is at least 6. So think about it. At least 6. Does that mean it could be equal to 6? Yeah. Yes. If it's at least 6, is it going in the direction of the 5? No. No. If I'm at least 6, I'm either 6 or higher. Greater or higher. Good. So I'm going to go to the right. A number is no more than -3. So let's put -3 on here. No more than -3. Could it be -3? Yeah. Yes. So we could fill in that circle. If it's no more than that, can it be -2? If it's no more than this point, can it be greater than that? No, it's no more than that. So it's -3 or less than. No more than -3. Everything in this direction would be more than -3, right? And I think that sounds a lot like the next one. At most, -1. So this is the most it could be, so it's got to be either less than or equal to it. So the last two were a little bit similar. Yes, less than or equal to -1. So if we were writing these, we could say our number is less than, because it's going left, and then pick our number. We could say our number is greater than or equal to, because it's closed, whatever our number is. We could use our graph here to say our number is less than or equal to, because it's closed, and then our number. And same thing with the last one. Our number is less than or equal to that number. Okay? Hopefully you've seen some of these things last week and you're not like, what? So that's page 1. Page 2. State whether the number is a solution. If x is greater than -9, could it be -16? No, -16 is less than -9. So this would be no. If m is greater than or equal to 12, could it be 12? Yes. If y is less than -2.5, could it be -2? No. -2 is greater than -2.5. How about B? If it's less than 4 2/10, could it be 4 2/10? No. No, it cannot. If B is less than or equal to 7/8, can it be 5/6?
Yes. No.
I don't know which is bigger, 5/6 or 7/8. So you might have to think this through. So if I was making this 42 48 or 40 48. So if it's less than or equal to this, is 40 less than or equal to 42?
Yes.
Yes. So we can say yes. We have to find a common denominator in order to compare fractions. 2 2/3. This is 3, right? And 1/4. I was putting that into mixed number. So is this greater than or equal to 2 2/3?
Yes.
Yes. So to solve inequalities, you follow the same steps as solving equations. If you multiply or divide by a negative, you must flip the inequality symbol. So if you can solve equations, you can solve inequalities. So here we go with the one step. We want to get p by itself. What are we doing to p? We're subtracting 2 from it. So the opposite would be to add 2 to both sides of our inequality. Think about this inequality just like you would an equal symbol. So we're going to bring it all the way down, and we've got p is less than or equal to what?
9. -9.
-9. So now we just need to put -9 somewhere on here. Open or close circle? Closed. And it's less than, so I'm going to the left. If k is being divided by 7 for number 18, I need to do the inverse of that. I'm going to multiply them both by 7. So I have k, bring down that same inequality symbol. What's 2 times 7? 14. So again, 14, 13. Open or closed? Open, because we don't have that equal to part of it, and we have less than still, so we're going left. So far, we haven't multiplied or divided by a negative, right? What's being done to our variable? We're subtracting 20, so we need to do the opposite of that to both sides. We're going to add 20 to both sides. So -15 is less than or equal to A. Now remember, I want to think of this in the reverse. So I'm going to keep it open to the same thing. Right now it's open to A, so I've got to kind of flip it if I flip my numbers around. So I'm going to put -15 on my number line. Do I want an open or closed circle on -15? Closed. Greater than means I'm going to the right on my number line. All right, so here is where we're going to be dividing by a negative. So when we divide by -5, so we know what 1e equals, we have to flip the direction of our inequality. So we're going to flip it the other direction. Negative divided by a negative is positive. So 25 divided by 5 is +5. So now we're putting 5 on our number line. Open or close circle at 5? Open. It says E is greater than 5. So which direction am I going? Right. Here again, we have to divide by a negative. So if I divide by a negative, I have -7. I've got to flip my sign is equal to J. Now, if I want it the way I need it, I've got to keep my inequality symbol open to that -7, just like it was open here. Okay? So I'm putting -7 on my number line. Open or close circle at -7? Open. Less than means I'm going to the left. Notice I have to have my variable turn first so that I know which direction my arrow is going. It helps me to think about it. Here, 22C is being divided by 12, so I have to undo that by multiplying both sides by 12. So this cancels. I have C. I'm keeping my sign the same because there were no dividing or multiplying by negatives. 2 times 12 is 24. So I'm putting 24 on my number line. Open or closed at 24? Less than means I'm going left. Okay, do you see how we're just adding a little bit more to our one-step equations here? All right, remember, our multiplicative inverse of our fraction is just our reciprocal. So we're going to divide by 4/5. When we divide by a fraction, we multiply by its reciprocal. So we have to multiply by the reciprocal of 4/5. So flip it. 5/4. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. We're not multiplying or, we're not multiplying or dividing by fractions. I'm sorry, negatives here. We are multiplying by fractions. So this leaves us with r is less than or equal to. Remember, what's on the bottom is what we're dividing by. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10, but we have a negative 10. So we're putting that negative 10 on our number line. Opened or closed here at the negative 10? Closed, because we have an or equal to. And it is less than, so we're going left. All right. To undo dividing by a negative 3, we have to multiply both sides of our inequality by negative 3. Which means we have to place our inequality going the opposite way. So we have S, it's got to be flipped because we're multiplying by a negative. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So negative 12 is going on our number line. Opened or closed circle at negative 12. Should be open and it's greater than, so we're going to the right. Any questions on page 2? All right. Page 3 and 4 is your homework. And by homework, I mean you should have lots of time. You've got 20 minutes to be working on these in class. Remember, less than is left, right? But always flip it so your variable term first. So variable or letter first. So if you were flipping this one, you would want your inequality symbol to be opened to the same thing it was here. You can flip it around. I think translating is a little tricky. Some of you might be getting stuck a little bit on solving one-step equations, but you got to be able to do that, guys. Trying to see if they had any fractions for you, but they don't. Remember, when you divide by or multiply by a negative, you've got to flip your inequality. So here, you've got to flip your inequality because you're dividing by a negative to solve. Here, same thing, because you're going to multiply by a negative to solve. You've got to flip your inequality. So be careful on those ones. There's one more that you need to flip, and I want you to try and locate and do that one. So try those out, guys. I will be floating around to make sure you're headed in the right direction, especially with these inequalities. You got to know which direction's which. All right.